Ifat Khan decided to fool the Muslim lawyer and go to see the latest Indian movie. She planned to go outside with her face and hair uncovered. She had never stepped in public before without her Islamic veil. She knew that no one had seen her face since she came to India. Wherefore, she expected that the Muslim lawyer would not recognize her if he happened to see her without her black burqa. She put on her salwar kameez, spent few minutes before the mirror and then left her room. Ifat was not aware of her fabulous and extraordinary beauty. She had lived most of her life excluded from the outside world. She had never before heard anyone praising her beauty. But, that day, as soon as she stepped out of her room without her burqa, she began to notice the effect of her beauty on the onlookers. People were staring at her as if she was an angelic creature descended from another planet. Some men stumbled on others while staring. She ignored them, continuing her walk until she found a taxi. She asked the taxi driver to take her to the movie theater that the front desk girl helpfully written out on a piece of paper. When the taxi dropped her off in front of Eros Film Theatre, she paid the driver and came out. As soon as she emerged out of the taxi, she saw a man coming towards her. Ifat was so scared when she saw the man standing in front of her and offering his hand to greet her. She thought that the man was a spy for her husband and had come to catch her. She was about to run away from him, but the man blocked her way. She began to shake in fear. The man smiled and introduced himself as the Bollywood director Mahmood Khan. Then, he asked her what her name was and where she was staying. She refused to tell him her name and she also refused to reveal where she was staying. She was scared that he might recognize her and inform her husband. She knew that her husband would cut her throat if he came to know that she had stepped out of her hotel with her face and hair uncovered. The man told her that he was a film director and he would like to offer her a role in his movie. Ifat rejected the offer. He said to her if she was not interested in acting in the film industry he would love to introduce her to the beauty contest. Ifat had no clue what he was talking about. When she remained silent he took out his card and offered it to her and asked her to visit his office or call him on the phone. Ifat accepted the card from his hand. After that, she walked away without uttering a word. Ifat felt great relief when the man did not follow her. She went to the movie theater. She was told that all the tickets were sold and the movie had already started. Ifat felt so disappointed when she came to know that the tickets were sold for a month ahead. She decided to stop a taxi and return to her hotel. While she was walking away the same man stopped her and told her that he could get her inside the theater without a ticket and if she wanted to see the whole movie, he could get her a ticket for the next show. Ifat did not know what to do or say to the man. She just continued to look at the man without uttering a word. The man thought that she might be deaf and dumb. He repeated his offer 3 times before she responded. She told him she wanted to see the movie right away. The man took hold of her hand and walked her inside the theater without anyone stopping them. Then, he said to her, "Enjoy the movie," and left the theater. The man forgotten, Ifat immersed herself and began to enjoy the movie. It was her first experience of watching a movie on the silver screen and she was thrilled with the new experience. When the movie was over, Ifat came out of the theater, stopped a taxi and returned to her hotel, tailed by the film director's 3 men. One of them followed her inside the hotel. He showed his card to the front desk and asked them to tell him about the girl who just walked in. He said that he was sent by the movie director Mahmood Khan to talk to the girl and offer her a role in his next movie. He said further that he wanted to know her name and from where she came. The front desk girl was so excited when she realized that the secretary of the well-renowned film director Mahmood Khan had come to offer a role to one of the hotel's guests. She told him the girl was called Ifat Khan and that she had recently come from Iran. When he requested her to call the girl and ask her to come and talk to him, the receptionist girl immediately picked up the phone receiver and dialed the room number of Ifat Khan. When Ifat responded to the call, she told her that someone would like to talk to her. Ifat was so frightened when she learned that a man had come to speak to her. She thought that someone had informed her husband that she had gone out of the hotel with her face and hair uncovered. She decided to deny that she ever stepped out of the hotel. She put on her black burqa and came down to meet the man. The secretary was shocked when he saw Ifat in a black burqa. He asked her whether she was the same girl who just came from the movie theater. Ifat strongly denied it. The front desk girl was surprised when Ifat denied that she was the same girl. She knew that she was the one who went out without her burqa and just came in. She even handed over her room key when she came back. She was the very one who gave her the address of the Eros theater. Regardless, the man knew that she was the one and tried to talk to her about the movie offer. She told him she did not live in India. She came from a foreign country and she would soon return to her country. For that reason, she wasn't interested in appearing in any movies. The secretary realized that Ifat had rejected his boss offer, but he felt satisfied with the information he gathered so far. He apologized to Ifat and thanked her for her time. When he came out of the hotel, he phoned his boss and conveyed the information he had obtained about her. Mahmoud was crushed when he came to know that Ifat Khan was an NRI, non-resident Indian. Nevertheless, he wanted to know more about her. He ordered his men to continue tailing her and find out why she was there and when did she plan on leaving the country. For 2 weeks, Mahmoud Khan's men followed Ifat Khan just about everywhere that she went. They came to know that she went to the Arthur Road jail daily to visit an 80-year-old Saudi man who had been arrested on charges of rape and kidnap. They asked the jail guards to reveal the relationship between her and the Saudi man. One of the guards said she was the maidservant of the Arab man. Yet another suspected that the girl might be a kept wife or a real wife of the Arab old man. Mahmoud Khan felt twisted up inside when he realized that the object of his adoration might be engaged in a sexual relationship with an 80-year-old Saudi. Hope glimmered when he remembered that case, and the punishment that was probably going to be dispensed for the crimes the old man had committed against the Hyderabadi girl. For a full 3 weeks, Mahmoud Khan's men followed Ifat Khan everywhere she went and gave her nightmares. She saw them following her every day and she naturally assumed that they were sent by her terrorist husband to keep watch on her. She did not repeat her adventure of going out of her hotel with her face and head uncovered. In her mind, her husband's spies might take her picture and smuggle them to him inside the jail. She foresaw her dangerous husband might very well tell them to punish her in some gruesome way. To this end, she confined her movements to the hotel and the jail. She became like a soldier or a jailer who had to attend his duty without fail. Every morning she left her hotel and headed to the jail. She spent few minutes listening to the instructions of her Saudi husband and then she took a taxi and returned to her hotel. Every day without fail, she saw the men who kept tailing her like her evening shadow. Whenever she reached her room, she would peep from her window and see the very same men loitering outside watching the hotel. The men would remain standing and smoking their cigarettes until midnight and then they would disappear. Whenever she came out, she would see them again, either on the street or following her taxi. This went on for 3 weeks, without fail. In the meantime, Mahmoud Khan used every available tactic to convince Ifat Khan to accept his offers. He started writing love letters to her and sending them to her through her hotel's address. He wrote his romantic epistles in Urdu, Hindi, and English. He sent many beautiful cards. He sent to her even bouquets of beautiful flowers. He collected the loveliest poems he found and sent them to her. He sent to her invitations to expensive restaurants in 5-star hotels such as Taj Mahal, Sea Rock, Oberoi, and Lilas. He went as far as to send her tickets for movies that were currently playing in the best movie theaters in town. He wanted her to come out of her ugly black Islamic cocoon and show her lovely face and sexy body again. Little did he know that Ifat did not respond nor understand any of his overtures because she could not read. She understood that someone was sending to her letters, cards, tickets, invitations, and beautiful bouquets of flowers and roses. She had no idea who was sending them. She thought about but decided against showing those love messages and tokens to the front desk girls and asked them to translate them to her. She suspected that her cruel husband might have bribed the hotel management and told them to spy on her. Although, Ifrit could speak 3 languages, but she could read and write none of them. She was completely illiterate, and that fact was absent to the renowned film director. Mahmood Khan remained determined to get to Ifrit Khan by all means. He decided that if he could not get her attention through his various temptations, he would resort to kidnapping her and hiding her in one of his out-of-town houses. He did not want the outside world to know of her. Thinking it over, he decided to give her a month to respond to his advances, whereupon he would order his men to kidnap her and take her to his farmhouse if no response was forthcoming. While all this attention was flooding her room, something extraordinary happened which changed the course of Ifrit's movements. The Muslim lawyer, Sheikh Barkatullah, worked sincerely in his mission in order to fulfill his promise to the old Saudi. He talked to the High Court judge handling the case and informed him about the bride. The judge demanded 4 crores, i.e. 40 million Indian rupees. The corrupt judge promised that he would acquit the old Saudi man with honor if he got 2 crores before the trial and 2 crores after his honorable release. Barkatullah also made contact with many top officials in the police departments of Mumbai and Hyderabad. Each police commissioner demanded 2 crores. Sheikh Barkatullah worked hard to contact and convince many other people in Mumbai and Hyderabad to join the pact. He talked to the airport police officers who arrested the old man and promised to pay them lakhs of rupees if they would agree to change their statements. He also visited Hyderabad city and called in on the mother, brothers and sisters of Amina Hyder Ali. He promised to pay the family 1 lakh of rupees if they would all appear in Mumbai High Court and swear under oath by placing their right hands on the Holy Quran and say that they met the old Saudi man before he married Amina and lied to him about her age. Through the mother, the Muslim lawyer also succeeded in contacting Amina and made her promise to change her court statements. The mother told Amina that her father and she would not force her to go with the old man. They also promised her daughter that they would allow her to go back to school and finish her education. After 15 days, as he promised, Sheikh Barkatullah came to the old man at Arthur Road Jail and broke to him the good news. He narrated to him everything he had done in those days and how much that was going to cost him. He informed him that the entire secret deal would cost him 14 crores, i.e. 140 million Indian rupees. 7 crores had to be paid before the trial and 7 crores after his honorable release. The greedy and crooked Muslim lawyer decided to get the lion's share of 6 crores himself. He was planning after the trial was over to quit his profession, leave the land of the Hindu idolaters, and immigrate to the Muslims' land of Pakistan. The old Saudi man tried to reduce the amount to 10 crores, but the Muslim lawyer insisted that his price of freedom would remain 14 crores. Being a life and death situation, the old Saudi agreed to all charges. At first, Sheikh Ahmed thought to send his Indian wife to the Abu Dhabi International Bank and get the management to send him the necessary documents to transfer 7 crores rupees from his account to the account of Sheikh Barkatullah. The Muslim lawyer stopped him and told him that he would not accept such a huge amount of money from him directly. The money should go to someone else's account and that person should deposit the money in Sheikh Barkatullah's account. He explained to him his idea would expose their scheme and everyone involved would go to jail. It was, after all, a huge amount of money and bound to raise suspicion once it was discovered that the transfer had taken place. In order to keep such deals secretly hidden from the police, the media, and other curious eyes, a third person should act as the middleman. The old man understood the risk that was involved if the money would go directly from his account to his lawyer's account. The question that puzzled him was who would be that person whom he could trust with such a huge amount of money. It was Sheikh Barkatullah who suggested that the faithful Indian maidservant should act in between. He told the old man that Ifrit Khan was the only person who was not known to the government and the public. The old man understood that no one in India knew that Ifrit was related to him in any way. He balked when he considered the amount of money that he would have to place in her trust. She might very well abscond with the money, but knew that he had no anyone else he could use, except her. But, he understood that he had already brainwashed her and made her compliant. He reasoned that if she wanted to run away from him she wouldn't have come from the Mumbai International Airport after his Afghani guard was arrested. She came from the airport all alone to him and began to do his work and continued to visit him without fail every day in the jail and follow his orders. Sheikh Barkatullah outlined his plan and advised Sheikh Ahmed to transfer the entire sum of 14 crores into Iffat's yet-to-be-established account. Then, he would accompany her to Switzerland to ensure that the needed 2 secret accounts, his and hers, and the agreed-upon first transfer was accomplished properly. As soon as the trial was over and Sheikh Ahmed acquitted with honor, Iffat and his lawyer should make another trip to Switzerland and get the second installment transferred from her account to his. To make sure that the old man would not change his mind after release, the crooked lawyer told him that the High Court judge had said that he would not release his passport and allow him to fly out of India until the amount was fully paid off. He disclosed that the judge will withhold his passport under the premise that protesting parties be given a chance to appeal. This would satisfy both the court and the media. The old man was not feeling comfortable any of the conditions: withholding of his passport, detention in India, transferring 14 crores to an overseas bank into the account of his Indian wife, but his Muslim lawyer told him that he had no other choice. Accordingly, the old man accepted the suggestion of his Muslim lawyer, but warned his Indian maidservant in front of Sheikh Barkatullah by telling her that he would send some spies to follow her to Switzerland, and if she tried to swindle him and run away with the money, his men would shoot and kill her. Ifat Khan swore by her Allah that she would not take the money and run away or do anything else to upset her Saudi master. Nevertheless, the old Saudi man made some conditions to Barkatullah that he would not pay the first installment unless he would get in writing and voice recording statements of confessions from him, the judge of the High Court, the 2 police commissioners of Mumbai and Hyderabad, that they were going to receive from him 7 crores before the trial and 7 crores after the trial for his release with honor. He said further that the recorded and written confessions should be given to his Indian maidservant. When Ifat Khan would receive those written and recorded confessions, she should come and translate them to him in Persian. Until he would hear those confessions and get satisfied, and then his Indian maidservant would mail them to his personal address at Tehran, he would not pay a single rupee. The old man knew that he had no one to receive those mailed confessions when they would reach Iran, but he wanted to make sure that the Muslim lawyer, the judge of the High Court, the police commissioner of Mumbai, and the police commissioner of Hyderabad could not renege on their word and let him hang high and dry. Sheikh Barkatullah tried to convince his client to drop his conditions and trust him, but the old man refused. Finally, the Muslim lawyer agreed to fulfill the conditions of the old man. He said that he needed at least 2 weeks to obtain the written and recorded statements of those VIP persons. While Barkatullah was busy collecting those recorded and written confessions, Sheikh Ahmed sent his obedient Indian wife to the Abu Dhabi International Bank and requested the manager to see him in person. When the manager visited the Saudi man in jail, he told him to create a second account for his Indian wife, Ifat Khan, and transfer from their joint account 14 crores to her new account. The manager asked why he was transferring such a large sum of money to his Indian wife, but the old man said to him it was his money and he was free to do with it whatever he wanted to do. The manager apologized to him for interfering in his personal affairs. The manager of the bank was an Arab man from a small town in the United Arab Emirates. He guessed that the Saudi man was planning to purchase his freedom with that huge amount of money. Nonetheless, he knew it wasn't his business to ask him that question too. As instructed, the International Bank of Abu Dhabi opened a new account for Ifat Khan and transferred from the joint account to her new account 14 crores, or 140 million Indian rupees.